First of all, Diogo, thanks so much for joining us here on the show. It's really nice to meet you. Can I just take you back in time just a little bit to your loan spell at Milan? You spoke before about how influential, how big that period of time is for you. Can you recall the first conversation you had with Paulo Maldini, and what was some of the influences he said to you before you took the legendary number 5 shirt?
I mean, it was probably right before I signed. It was obviously very important in the negotiations because he was very active in terms of sporting director and really working really close with the board. So we had a very quick chat where, I mean, he didn't have to explain to me how was his time there, but he just knew that that was going to be good for me to get a little bit more playing time and gaming time, and at the same time know a little bit more of the culture of the club, what to expect from the staff, from the fans as well. So it was a quick chat, but a very assertive one, and got me really ready to start.
Well, of course, his role at the time you were there was not on the pitch. He was dealing with things off the pitch more or less. But he is, after all, one of the greatest defenders of all time. Did you learn anything from him? Did you pick up anything? Did he give you any tips that maybe you still practice today?
He had a really important role in the team. Obviously, he was more a director, but he was there every single day. I don't remember a day that he was not in training, watching us train, which really impressed me because you don't see that really often.
When it comes to directors?
When it comes to directors, sometimes you have meetings or the schedule doesn't combine, but he was there pretty much every single day watching training. And that gives you a little bit of the standard that he wanted to put in the club. I don't think this is coincidence that the year after I was there, so that year we qualified for the Champions League, which the club didn't qualify for 10, 15 years. The year after they won the Serie A, so I don't think it was coincidence that all the work that he put into the club, and obviously then when we felt it was the right time, we had a few chats where he could give me some advice, especially on how to expect the wingers in Serie A, which is a little bit different than the Premier League, and obviously the culture of the club.
Right, then let's talk about your season this season. This season is massive for you. Would you say it's your best season so far in the Manchester United shirt?
Individually,
yeah, individually.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about Erik ten Hag. And I think the defensive aspect of your game this season has really taken on leaps and bounds. How impactful has Erik ten Hag been in your development to be a bit more of a complete profile of a fullback?
It's been really important in my career. It was something that I knew that I could get better on. I always look at myself as a complete fullback, so I try always to be as much as complete as I can, and something that came naturally. I think the work that I've put in all of the years, it started to show now a little bit more. Obviously, when you have game time, when you have confidence from the manager and from your teammates, the level raises. And I want to keep raising that level. I know there is also space for improvement. There always is. So that's the mentality that I wanna keep going and try to even more.
Well, you talk about improvements and all that. You train alongside with Aaron. Of course, you guys have healthy competition with each other, but both of you have your own attributes. I mean, Aaron's one of the best in 1v1 situations. What do you learn from him though, and his game that you try to incorporate into your own?
I've known him now for quite a few years. I mean, he came after 1 year that I was at the club, so spent a lot of training sessions and a lot of moments with him. And obviously his qualities are not just about defending. He's a very good player. Like you said, a healthy competition. I think that's what increases the level in training, increases the level of your team. But obviously him being very good defending in those moments, you always try to learn what you can. Sometimes obviously you are different players, you have different approaches in terms of when the situations come, but it's something that I'm always open to learn. when I think that that is the moment, and I've learned a lot from not just with Aaron but a lot of players in the team.
Can I take you back to Jose Mourinho? I'm not sure you remember, but Jose has actually said before in regards to you, he has all the attributes that a fullback needs. He is the best right back in his age group. So this is a while back. What was your initial reaction when you heard that from Jose Mourinho?
I mean, coming from him is always special. I don't think he compliments players just by the sake of it. I think when he says something like that, it's because he means. So at the time, it brought me obviously joy, but at the same moment responsibility. And I've been trying to prove him right all over the years. I think at the time I knew that I could be one of the best in the world. So I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to be one of the best, and when you're in a club like this, it always helps, but at the same time brings you more responsibility and higher expectations. Okay,
let's talk about playing on that side of the flank then, as that fullback. When you play behind someone like Alejandro Garnacho versus Antony, how is your approach different when you have these two players whenever they play in front of you?
That's a good question. I mean, obviously different characters, different styles of play. Garna is someone that can play a little bit more in behind. Antony has to have the ball more on his feet. He has to feel the ball. For him to be in a game, he has to touch the ball. He has to do this type of movements. Communication language has to be different. With Antony, I think it comes more natural because he's Portuguese. So sometimes with Garna, I mix a little bit of Spanish with English, but they are two players that it's quite easy to work with him because they are very open to learn and to listen, which is good. But at the same time, try to give them and put him in the best positions to where they can, which are the best ones for them to attack, to go 1v1, to create, to make goals, assists. It's where they are best. So I always try to make them feel comfortable in front of me.
Yeah, I think Garna this season is feeling very comfortable as well, because him last season, just 5 starts in the Premier League. He started more than 20 games in the Premier League, Garnacho, this season. How impressive has he been to you? I mean, just playing behind him, seeing the way that he developed this season as well.
I think it's a normal process. When he started to come into the first team, we knew straight away that he had the qualities. He just needed to work really hard in training. Then the opportunities will start to come, and then it will be up to him to show us teammates and show us as a club that he deserved it. I think he's making a very good season. He needs to know that the expectations, the responsibility, the demands will become higher and higher when he starts scoring goals, when he starts playing good and in the highest level. Everything will increase, and he has to keep his head in a good place, which I always help him here inside the dressing room. But ultimately, it will be up to him if he wants to reach the top.
Well, you're one of the few players who have played with Cristiano Ronaldo for both club and country. Can you remember back that moment, the first time approaching him? I mean, this is such a big figure in football and a big figure in Portugal as well, this hero. Were you a little bit, maybe starstruck is not the word, but were you a bit of a pinch me moment, like, I can't believe this is happening?
For sure. I mean, Imagine if you meet your idol, the person that you always look up to when you were growing up. First moment that I was with him was in national team at the Euros. So that is the moment when you realize, okay, you're playing with the best players in the world. And I tried to, the time that I was here, I tried to get 100% of everything that he could give me, whether it's good or bad. But I tried to take everything that I could by the time he was here, and I enjoyed every single moment. And I still do when I'm in the national team. So being able to spend time with him during my career was probably one of the biggest privileges that I had.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.